Yo, yo, what's good? You are tuned in to a new episode of A Sweet Life. I'm your host, Chief Johnson. Shout out my boy Malik. He got the week off, traveling like a madman, but we'll catch back up soon. Excited to sit down with this brother, man. We became acquainted a few years ago through mutual friends, through some Puma stuff, and just been watching his career and just following him personally. So I reached out, and of course he came and blessed me, man. So we're gonna get into it. My boy Donovan Carter,
Yes, sir, man.
man. Thank you for coming by, brother.
Oh man, for had to, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate the invite for real,
Yeah,
bro.
man, overdue. You know what I mean? And I think before we get started, I just wanted to say again, like this platform, man, is just built out of love, and he'll tell you, man. I reached out a couple days ago, and he pulled up on me, and I like to think that's because I'm a pretty good guy, and he is solid one. So we here. You know
Nah,
what I
for
mean?
sure, bro. Yeah, I went. I was like the podcast is so tough because like it's a lot of
you
people in the
know,
space. Yeah, and I
yeah,
and I, I did one for a minute, so
yeah,
I know I just get gas, and then sometimes you just ain't got time for it, you know. But
yeah,
I'm like, man, I rock with you from when we first met, bro. So I was like, yeah, been a fan of the podcast. So
yeah.
I'm just honored to be on here,
Yeah, and
man.
likewise, man. I've been a fan of yours for a minute, and although like it said, we've met through like mutual things, events, and people, but we haven't had a chance to sit down. So this is also dope for me because I get to learn a little bit more about you and your background and all the amazing things you have cooking, and you know, and even through success, right? We still set goals. Like, what are those next goals? So, again, gracious for the sit down, brother.
Nah, for sure, man.
Yeah, so for me, I didn't know, and I want to start from the beginning that you were born in D.C.
Yep, yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, I was born in DMV, man. My parents didn't get married, like growing up.
Okay.
So, my mom, she from Maryland. My dad, born and raised in LA. They actually met in LA
Wow.
in the 80s. And yeah, they got together, it didn't work out. But, had me, which was a blessing.
Yeah.
But yeah, mom's, when she got pregnant, she went back home because she just didn't have any family. She had friends out here, but she didn't have any family. So she wanted to go back home, be here with her family and stuff.
Mm.
So yeah, I was, honored to be born in DC. Stayed there a little bit till I was like 2, and then we
Okay.
moved to Atlanta from like 2 to 8. So I mean, we was talking about earlier before, just moving
Damn.
around a lot. Like
Yeah.
I kind of can relate a little bit.
Yeah.
And then my dad came and got me when I was 8 years old in Atlanta, and then I was with him ever since, man. And
Wow.
then mom, she eventually moved back to Maryland when my grandmother, her mom got sick, and then she been out there probably like for the last like 15, 18 years, something like that.
Wow. How was that as a young growing up and the moving and then your pops coming to get you and being away from your mom, and that's a pretty far distance. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, how was that on you growing up?
I mean, it was different, man. It was different. Like I never like wish my parents was together.
Hmm.
I just wish moms was like close,
Yeah.
so that way I could like go to her house, cause how it is growing up with your parents. Y'all butt heads, and my mom, she was always kind of like the mediator between even like me and my dad.
Uh,
But it was tough though, cause I would have to like take a flight all the way over there, and
yeah.
I was telling some mama's boy stuff. So like when I had to leave, I'm crying and stuff, cause I'm like, man, I want to stay here with you, like. Because
Yeah.
my dad, he was like the enforcer.
Wait,
So
wait. Is this where Boys in the Hood got they?
shit, something like it, man. I'm sure Pops, is influenced by that. But honestly, like my parents, they got along though, which I
Yeah,
respect. Like
that's dope.
they always got along. They never fought. Even when I was older, when mom would come visit me, she would stay at the crib with me, my dad, and my stepmom. My dad got married when I was 1. So they always had a respect for each other.
That's love.
But it was different though, man. And like you said, my dad came and got me. I didn't know what was going on,
Right.
but I just knew it was California, and I was like, man,
Right.
the weather nice.
Yeah.
It was, I know I had better opportunities out here being with my dad,
Yeah.
and I'm just grateful that my dad even wanted to come get me, because you hear a lot of stories about fathers and
Yeah.
they relationship with their kids, but I'm just glad my dad like
Yeah.
wanted to be a dad.
So, what area in LA did you grow up in?
In the beginning, I grew up in like LA, like Slauson, like Overhill, like in between, like in between like Overhill and Crenshaw.
Mm,
So it was like LA. So like, yeah, I went to elementary school in LA, and then when I got to 6th grade, we moved to the Valley. So
okay.
I really like grew up in the San Fernando Valley.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
went to I went to different high school every year, but third grade and fifth grade I was in elementary school in LA, and then sixth through 12th I moved to the Valley.
And just collecting memories and friends and
Yeah, yeah. You met all type of people. I mean, I think that's what it taught me, like as a young age, to be like personable a little bit, because I was always a new kid, so I
yeah,
always had to meet. I always had to like make friends and meet new people, and I think that's like kind of helped me like later on in life, like a skill, because I
yeah,
was always like I had to be personable because I was always a new kid, and
yeah,
it's hard to make. Everybody got their cliques even like a young age, so you coming in, you trying to make friends as well.
yeah, yeah. When did I'm assuming you loved growing up with your pops in LA during that time, like sports, right?
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
was it Lakers, Raiders? Was it like, what was the first early,
I mean,
you
for me,
know?
Lakers, because of Shaq and Kobe. My dad, he was a Raider fan.
Okay.
Being born and raised in LA. The Raiders used to play at the Coliseum when he grew up.
Yeah.
But just the Raiders, like they stunk. I ain't gonna lie. So like, and we didn't have a team out here. We didn't have like the Rams or the Chargers at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was always like Lakers, Dodgers, and then UCLA and SC for sure.
Yeah. So was the love basketball first and then football came after?
I think it was football, man. It was
Okay.
football for me because my dad, like, he actually coached,
Okay.
like youth football, Pop Warner, we call it out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
But he actually coached before I even could play because he wanted to wait for me to get to a certain age to like start playing tackle football. So I would see my dad like just give back. He loved kids and he loves to give back when he can. So just going there, I was a ball boy. So being at the practice, but it's you a kid, you like, man, like, I want to get out there and run around too. But I was like 7 at the time, so he's like, nah, he wanted me to wait till I was at least 10. So I would probably say like football, and then later on, just when we got Kobe, Shaq, and the Lakers started winning, it was just hard not to be a fan.
Golden times.
Man, golden times, and I wasn't like no rebel. You got these random Clipper fans like nah, I'm rocking with the winners. Like,
I always wonder like how people from LA became Clippers fans. Like how did that? Where was the disconnect? Like,
I mean, for some, I've heard like multiple stories because Laker games was always so expensive. So they would go to, and back in the day, this like the sports arena, Clipper fans, they were just giving away tickets. So a lot of people, they first like experience was going to a Clipper game and like, having good seats and seeing live. And I'm just like, yeah, that's cool and all, but
yeah,
I went to Harlem Globetrotters and I was a kid and we had good seats, but I'm not, I'm not a Harlem Globetrotters fan like that.
nah, I know I can understand that because growing up in Colorado, I remember going to Denver Nuggets game when they were terrible and the seats were like $5. You know what I mean? And like used to play biddy basketball, and the coach would take us to the games, and they were so cheap, but they were so empty, and it's just like. But those are the memories, that I
Yeah,
had as a kid, and then also too, like, my pops is from his family, his dad's side of the family from Chicago, and his mom's side's from New Orleans, and so I grew up like Chicago everything. Like I
I
love the
got you.
Bears and the Bulls. Obviously, growing up in that era, it was hard
Michael.
to not love the Bulls because of Michael,
Yeah,
and the Nuggets stunk. But they had good players throughout
yeah.
history. Um,
When Melo got there, that's when I really like
yeah,
paid attention, honestly, like
with
to
Melo,
Denver.
J.R. Smith,
Yeah,
Chauncey.
yep.
They had an Aaron Aflalo. They had a really stacked squad. Like I think they had some years like with Dikembe and LaFonso Ellis and them, and then tapered off, and then those guys came. But it's crazy to like as a youth, all those things really shape like I mean the Bears have been terrible my whole life.
Yeah,
Besides the one year they went to the Super Bowl.
yeah.
Um,
Lost to the Colts, man.
yeah, and it's like you would think as a kid you would like jump ship at some point, but now I'm like
Yeah,
still here every year pissed off. But
yeah.
I think
Hey,
they might
it
be all
might
right this
be
year. We
might
got
be our
yeah,
year, man.
yeah,
At least like Bear fans not delusional like Raiders and Cowboys and Steelers. Like they know what time it is. So
y'all hear that? Especially delusional Cowboy fans.
yeah,
Man,
sheesh.
y'all every year,
Yeah, they've
every
been
year.
quiet out since the Packers game. I will say I ain't heard nothing.
Quiet as a
After,
church mouse.
yeah, after that they like nah. They barely fans.
Yeah. Did you hoop growing up too, or
Nah, hell no. I wish, man. I'm
okay?
terrible in hoop. I mean, I would play like in the neighborhood with friends and stuff. I always wanted to play like like on the team like AAU or something, but it was just tough because like none of my, I mean, for me, I did what my friends did. We hooped. I mean, excuse me, we played football and I played baseball.
Oh,
So like,
okay.
when I was young, so like, yeah, hooping, it was always like I wanted to, but I just didn't know like where to go about it. And then after football, I'm like I'm bruised up and I'm tired from the
Like, I'm
season.
cool.
So and like they kind of overlap, especially like
Yeah,
in like high school. So yeah, I never like played like organized basketball.
yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
Um, in high school, middle school, so you started playing football around what age?
I would say like 10, like fifth grade.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, fifth grade.
And
Yep.
instantly, like, I love this. I
Yeah, it
love
was
like,
fun, man. Like instantly, like I wasn't on like the best team, so I got to like play different positions,
hmm
and it was fun. And like growing up, like till I got to like eighth grade, I was the only child, so like it was just like cool to be around other kids. Develop like that brotherhood from a young age, and it was just like fun to be outside, hang out, with kids my age, and get to hit some people too.
yeah, yeah. So football kept you pretty focused, like as far as like the riffraff going on growing up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, pops, we moved to the valley to kind of get away from the riff. I mean, you can
Yeah,
find riffraff anywhere,
yeah, for
but the
sure.
valley, it's the suburbs. You chilling, like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's still it's still active some parts out
for
there,
sure.
but it just wasn't, it was harder to get in trouble, than I think being in the city. But yeah, like sports always made me focus because I didn't like school. I wasn't the biggest like, you know, academic person,
Yeah,
but like sports, like man, you got to be eligible. You got to have a certain GPA to
yeah.
play. So it kind of kept me in line for sure. And you don't want to be the dumb person on your team as
Like,
well.
oh, I'm not eligible this week. Like,
Right,
I
yeah, you
can't
don't
play.
want to be that. Like, come on. And then now you letting your team down, your brothers, your coaches down,
Yeah,
letting my dad down. So I just was like, man, let me just stay focused as much as I can.
yeah. What grade? Because I know, I mean, just like any sports, right? As you grow, your
Hmm.
skill sets, you might start at this position and that. But what grade or age did you finally kind of find like, oh, this is the position I you fell in love with?
Yeah, I think like 10th grade. Just I'm like playing defense. At that time I was playing linebacker. So like I mean offense was fun too, scoring touchdowns, that stuff is
Mm.
fun. But I mean as I got like, older and bigger, I'm like, man, I'm trying to hit people. I don't want to get hit. Especially like people my size or smaller. And yeah, defense was just always fun, man, because you just go tackle, get the person who got the ball.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say 10th grade because that's when I started getting taller. And I actually got to play I started at varsity my 10th grade year.
Damn.
And then kind of just seeing like, all the hard work, and like me develop, kind of paying off. And I think that was the time because like when I was younger, my dad definitely like pushed me and like forced me to do like, stuff that I didn't want to do
Yeah.
sometimes. He had me at the park running and
Like,
doing hills and push-ups and all type of stuff. But then during that time I was like, I was doing stuff on my own, like really like, putting the work in and, developing my craft.
what high school did you go to?
I went to two high schools. I went to Chaminade, it's in the valley.
Okay.
It's a private school, Catholic, like college prep. Like we had to wear uniforms. Game day, I'm wearing shirt and tie and stuff. It was like I felt like Will Smith in Fresh Prince of Bel Air a little bit. And then I went there for 9th and 10th grade, and then 11th and 12th I transferred to Birmingham. It's a public school in the valley,
Okay.
and that was cool. Like we had a good team. We won a championship my junior and senior year.
Okay.
Yeah, my senior year we lost one game. We almost went to state, but
Damn.
we didn't end up going. We didn't end up making it. But yeah, we would have played De La Salle and in state. But yeah, it was between us and this other school in Corona, and we had the same record. So they flipped the coin and they won.
Damn,
And
that's
yeah, it was
crazy.
yeah
Like
crazy. I wish we would have
coin
played each
flip.
other.
Like
Yeah, it was
damn.
whack. We all like we was on like the local like sports show. Like it was like Fox Sports, I
Uh,
think Fox Sports West or something. So we all in there, they had us in there and the other team wherever they was at, and just get our reaction. And like, man, we was disappointed, but I was blessed because I'm like I got 4 years of football. Some
yeah.
people that would like after high school like never play football again.
Yeah.
So
So the offers start coming in junior year, senior year. Was it like, oh, I'm good? Like,
junior year for me,
uh
like
huh.
after I transferred, I had to go to new school, start all over again, meet new people. But yeah, after my junior year, I think I was starting to get some offers, and then going like the summer going into my senior year, I committed to UCLA.
Okay.
And then and yeah, I signed my letter of intent in February, like 6 months later.
Was there anybody in the pecking that was like neck and neck, like, ooh, it could be
Yeah,
UCLA or
yeah, it was my top three was UCLA, Washington, and Arizona State.
okay,
Like I pretty much had like mostly like Pac-10 at the
Pac-10?
time
Yeah.
offers, but yeah, that was my top three. And but Washington, it rains every day. And Arizona, it's like it's a party school and it's too hot.
Yeah.
And UCLA, man, I went out like it wasn't like UCLA wasn't my dream school at the time, but I went on campus and I fell in love. I was like, man, like I get to go here. Like this is crazy. Like yeah, I want to go here. Like this is where I want to spend the next 4 years of my life for sure.
Damn. How was freshman year? The young guy on
Yeah,
campus,
it was
pecking
lit.
order,
Yeah,
like
it was lit, man. Definitely was hard work. You
yeah,
know, I thought hard work. I thought I knew what hard work was, but I didn't know till I got there, and then just learned about time management
yeah,
and just really just having like to grow up too, because you got to take of course you having fun. I redshirted my first year, but toward the end, like I'm on academic probation. I'm on subject to dismissal because I'm
wow,
just messing around. So I was like, you know what, like I need to focus, man. Like I'm here like for a reason. I'm here to play ball, get to the next level, and or just set myself up for a better life. And also I was like, man, I can't go home and disappoint my parents because my parents like they sacrificed so much to
yeah,
get me to this place. And it's one thing to go home, if you hurt or something didn't happen, but for some stuff that I can control, like I couldn't live with myself. So freshman year was tough, a lot of
yeah.
emotions, a lot of things, but went by fast though as well. Like I feel like, yeah, after when I got to college, like life just been
Just
on
like
crack. It's crazy.
right, man. So for people watching who, and I've been critical also too on college players in a sense of just like, but I wanted you to just talk a little bit about how hard of a transition it is as a kid coming out of high school
Yeah,
and now playing at a level where you're coming in as a freshman. You might be playing with juniors, seniors, competing with other freshmen, but also dealing with adjusting to a new life
yeah.
and being on your own. Like what's that like in the balance of school and working out and grades and girls and parties and all
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot, but I think first you got to understand like what's your why. Don't forget your why you're here, and like just see the bigger picture. But it's a lot though, man, because like school is different. UCLA, we not on semesters, we on a quarter system.
Mm,
So like it's like 10 weeks, and then you done. Then you got a whole new set of classes, and then just getting accustomed to like working out. You got to get up every day 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning to work out. You just got a long day. You got workouts. You got meetings. You got school. Then you got practice. Then you got more meetings, and then you got to go do your homework. Or do your schoolwork. So it's just like, and it also, you competing with some of like, the best athletes in the world. And then once you leave the field, now you competing with some of the best minds in the world. Because
mm,
UCLA, it's the most applied school in the country. You got people that
yeah,
had, I didn't even know you can get past 4.0. You got people that got 4.3s, 4.5s, Excel, they honor roll. What's the thing?
the sum cum laude,
Yeah, whatever
like
that
all
joint
that.
is.
Like it's all.
Yeah, you got all that stuff, and like just the way like on the field, you competing with some of the best athletes. Like you're not gonna slow down just because they not on your level.
Yeah,
Honestly, you're gonna expose them. If you're a football player, it's the same thing in the classroom. Like professors, they ain't really like, if they know you trying and you doing the best you can, they gonna work with you. But you can't just assume that
I'm
just
an
because you play
athlete.
football, they
Like
gonna they gonna look out for you.
yeah,
Because a lot of times, you had like athletes back in the day that was knuckleheads and doing stuff,
yeah,
and you got these professors that really don't like athletes, that much. But
yeah.
yeah, it was a task, man. It was definitely took me a minute to adjust for sure. But and then also the speed and just
Yeah.
memorizing the playbook. But once you get it down, you figure it out. Things start slowing down eventually.
So red shirt first year, and then what's the rest of the
Yeah,
tenure look like there?
yeah. I redshirted my first year. Second year, really like special teams played a little bit. Then my third year, I switched positions, went to like D line. So, had to figure that stuff out, put on weight, figure out a new position, still defense. So I got to play a little more. And in my 4th year, just kind of role player. Never was really a starter. Wish I was, but like my every year I had a different. First I had 2 head coaches
Mm,
my time, and then I had a different coordinator and different position coach every year. So like every year, I'm having, like, I was a 3-star, wasn't like blue chip All American stuff like that, but like every year I had to like just prove myself just to like belong on the team
yeah,
as well. So that was always a task, and it's always like it's like getting like a new boss or
yeah,
a new CEO every year, and you gotta they don't know
yeah,
nothing about you, and you just gotta just make sure that you deserve your scholarship
yeah,
at that point. So it was a grind though, man. But
yeah.
it taught me like a lot of like life lessons, like that I didn't know at the time. That I like drew back on like later, like after I got out of UCLA.
Yeah, and I think that's important because a lot of what we discuss too are the pivots in life and the mental component of it. And as a young man going through all those changes, right?
Yeah,
And as men, we have egos and we have pride also too, and all those things. Like, how do you stay grounded during all those changes, and also too like pushing yourself to be better and not giving up under those circumstances? Like, what are some tools that you picked up, whether it's from your dad or other coaches, family, friends that helped you kind of in those moments where you might have felt like, damn, like,
yeah.
whew, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was tough, man. I mean, yeah, honestly, my dad, he always would tell me just stay ready. Like, you just never know. Like,
Mm,
football is a physical game. People get hurt. School, people, grades ain't good, stuff happen. So every time he always said that, even when I was young, I always had like always got opportunity, and I did the best I could, because he always like reiterated like be ready, because you just never know. And it just, like, lean on my teammates, lean on my brothers, because I was with them more than my family, during that
yeah,
4 year time, and really just not letting them down and just going for it. Because there was times I wanted to quit. I'm crying. I'm going through every emotion, because you go from like being a man in high school, you
yeah,
doing your thing, then you get to college, and it's just like you just trying to get on the field and just show what you can do, and like I'm good enough, like I
yeah,
got the talent, but it just just getting opportunity. But you just got to just keep competing, man. Like, things ain't gonna go your way all the time, but just competing and just keep staying ready. But you also like put the work in. Like, you can't be upset and then you not putting the work in, because when you get the opportunity, it's gonna show.
ready.
If you watching film,
Yeah,
if you lifting weights, if you doing your field work, and then you don't want to, for me, like, we always had a saying, like, pain or regret. You don't want to have that regret knowing that you had this opportunity and you didn't prepare as
mm,
much as you could. And just being at UCLA, just, learn about all the greats and all the legends, stuff they went through, and like the John Woodens and,
yeah,
pyramid of success. They teach us that when we first get in there. And yeah, you just kind of just want to hopefully leave your legacy there.
yeah. So, you're coming to your 4th year. When do you start feeling like, okay, the next level probably isn't going to happen for me?
Yeah.
What's the pivot? What's the passion?
Yeah.
What did that conversation look like for you?
I mean, I kind of knew like my last year, because like this one we got a whole new head coach, whole
Mm,
new staff. They changed the defense, not even really a defense that catered to me, but I kind of knew, and I'm just like, man, I'm like, I'm barely getting on the field right now. Like, how am I gonna play in the NFL? If you're not starting every game and you ain't like going crazy, like, you got to be realistic. But I just wasn't ready to like let that dream go. And
mm,
honestly, I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. Like, I studied history at UCLA, which I love history, but I wasn't like, well, I want to be a history teacher
right.
or whatever, whatever you can do with that. But I just wasn't ready to like let the dream go, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna keep going until I can't. I always told myself like, I'm my first year out, I'm a go out and try to make it to the league. And then if I don't make it, then I'm gonna move on, And I don't suggest that for like, the youngest coming up, have a plan B if you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just had a plan A, and I was like, when that's over, then I'll think of plan B. And then, when I got done, I played in the All-Star game. I got an agent that reached out, so I was like, okay, like, maybe this is something like, because if I didn't have that, then it really would be over.
Yeah.
So I didn't do the combine. I did pro day. At my school, you know, I tried out for scouts, and I got invited to the Raiders for their mini camp for 3 days. So I was just like, okay, like, shoot, you know, we here, like, this is what we want, this the opportunity. So, you know, and I was like, shoot, this would be amazing, you know, crazy story.
Right.
Like, if I make the team, because like at that time I didn't have nothing. I was broke. I didn't have no car.
Yeah.
Shoot, my girl just broke up with me at the time. I didn't have nowhere. I was living with my grandma. So I was like, man, like I need to
Need
make the
this.
team if anybody
Yeah.
does. But yeah, you know, it ended up working out. But you know, man, God is good, man. It's a blessing in disguise, and like it really like, you know, set me up for like, you know, what I did like shit like less than a year after that, you know, because if I was on the team, I wouldn't have been able to do ballers, you know, at the
Yeah. So
same
let's
time.
talk about like how did you go from history major
Yeah,
in between the hashes to now, like you said, a year later, you are on arguably, I think during that time, one of the best shows that was on TV with arguably one of the biggest
for
stars, and
sure.
also too like a budding star like with Denzel's son, you know, John
Yep.
David. Just an amazing cast overall. But like, what was? Let's talk about those steps.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. So like, yeah, God is good, man. First of all, man, it was just a blessing just to be, you know, the opportunity. But like when I got done, I'm like, I got cut. I'm back home, you know, depressed for a little bit because I'm just like, man, like this what I've been thinking about the whole time. But like now it's here, and I'm just like didn't network how I should have at UCLA. You know,
Mm,
didn't take advantage. You know, which I encourage like when I meet like younger Bruins or even younger college athletes, like take advantage of this time here. Meet as many people as you can because once you out, it just get different. But when I got done, I'm really trying to get a job.
mm,
But being a student athlete, I don't have any work experience. I don't have a resume. You know, I didn't do any internships. So a lot of people just wasn't really giving me that opportunity. And I didn't know how to like, I don't know how to interview. I don't know how to sell myself. Because I had skills, you know, playing ball that I could, you know, if I knew how to use the right terminology, maybe could opportunity. And I'm being honest too. And like a lot of people, you know, I learned they be lying in their resume and they be lying about stuff. So they ask me like, oh, you know, certain things. And I'm like,
I don't
I've never did
know.
that. And I'm like, and they, you know, they was like, all right, well, no, you know, we're gonna go a different way.
Yeah.
So I'm getting frustrated. So I end up going back to UCLA because I'm just like, and I'm not even thinking about acting. I'm just like, look, I need a job. Like, I don't like, I'm broke. I don't have like, I'm just trying to survive. You know, you being in LA, I'm working like, you know, I end up getting like a part-time job, like get like being a camp counselor. But I'm just like, this ain't gonna cut it. Like I
Mm,
can't live off that. So then my coaches, they gave me an email of this commercial agency. So I started, that's how I really got first introduced in the business. I'm
wow.
doing like commercial just background. I'm doing like sports commercials. So I did like Fox Sports and like, you know, I'm in pads and stuff running plays. So it was cool. It was like shit's like I'm at practice, but like
Pay a little bit of money too.
yeah, it was cool. I didn't get the residuals, but I got the
Okay.
buyout, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
because I wasn't in the union yet or nothing like that. And then they know what they doing. They
Yeah.
gonna get young kids that's hungry, and you know, you give them like 2,500, whatever 5,000. They gonna
Yeah.
they gonna take that, which they really should be getting like at least
Yeah. That,
20,000,
that back
thirty
end,
thousand,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it was like got me on set, got me familiar, and then just randomly like a few months later, my same coaches emailed me about excuse me, at UCLA they emailed me about auditioning for ballers because they was looking for like real ball players to audition because they had an open casting call. So I think they was like they had it open for actors, but they probably didn't like what they was seeing. So like that's why me, JD, even Dwayne, he played ball
Yeah.
before. Like Omar Miller, they
Yep.
wanted like people, so you can buy in and make it realistic.
Yeah.
So y'all literally just got an email one day, bro, and like, shoot, man, I'm glad I looked through my email, and at first I wasn't even gonna go because I ain't never acted like ever in my life. I was in a play when I was 10, but I didn't say nothing. It was a Killer Mockingbird. They just need like a little black kid in the play. So like I never did this. But I mean it was funny, like a lot of my teammates, how it is being on a team, y'all crack jokes,
Yeah.
we just crack jokes all day. So all the homies used to always tell me like, bro, you're funny, bro. You should be on TV. And I'm just like, man, whatever. Like I ain't, I appreciate it, but like I don't know how to actually do that or.
Yeah.
So, but I always said like if I had the opportunity, being in the NFL, if I had the opportunity to like be in a commercial or like maybe say a couple lines, I would try it out because like it's always been like something like in the back of my mind that I was interested in. Like growing up, I love TV. I love like sitcoms and movies and stuff. Still
Yeah.
do. So and then at the time I had nothing going on. My dad was just like, he's like, man, what the hell else you got going on? Like the worst they gonna say is no.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, pop, you're right, shit. So I just went, had an audition, and they liked me. I didn't have no lessons, no class. I just treated it like my playbook. Like when I was in football, I just got the lines. I memorized what I had to say. I didn't even know what the other person was saying. I'm literally like waiting for them to stop talking, and I'm like, oh shit, it's my turn. But yeah, they seen something in me that I ain't seeing myself,
Yeah.
and kept calling me back. I auditioned like 10 times for like 3 months, bro. And
Damn.
then yeah, got that call like, shoot, man, like you got it. And then I was like, and then at the time I didn't know what that meant. I'm
You're
just
like,
like,
okay.
I'm like, cool, like when's the bread? Like where's the bread at? Cause at this time I'm like, I'm driving there and back,
Yeah.
doing all this stuff, and but thankfully like I was natural and I was just available, like,
Yeah.
and I learned that in life sometime, you get
Availability.
opportunities, but like, and I understand, family, personal stuff getting away, but a lot of things I feel like people like miss out on opportunities because they put things before
Yeah.
that really like maybe matter but don't matter,
Yeah.
or they just, they eliminate themselves before they even get the chance.
But like you said, not even just going. Like
Exactly.
we talk ourselves out a lot of opportunities, I
A
think.
lot, a lot. And I'm just glad my dad was like, encouraged me to go. Cause some people, they be like acting like, you ain't never acted before. Like, you need to
Yeah.
get a real job. Like.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad my dad was like supportive, cause some parents, aren't like that. As I get older and learn, hear different people, about their
Yeah.
lives and stuff.
So 3 months of auditions,
Yep.
and then you get the call back. You don't know who's. Do they say like, "Yo, this is the Rock show. This is gonna
Nah,
be
not really. They said The Rock
like."
was like involved. They was really like low key about it. Cause I'm just, even when I got it, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm thinking it's like the commercials, like they just need football players there, like on a team. But they sent me the lines and everything, and I'm like, oh, this
You
is,
Vernon.
yeah. I'm like, oh, this is acting. And then later on they said Dwayne, but like, yeah, they kind of kept it like low key. But yeah, it wasn't until like the first table read we had, which was like 6 months after like when I first started, and that's when I seen Dwayne, I seen Mark Wahlberg. We had HBO. I'm like, oh
Like
shoot.
this is.
And then, honestly, a little bit before that, like I had a couple callbacks, and I seen like Regina Hall
Yeah.
and Lala. I seen them kind of in like, when you like check in, sign in. And I'm just like, what y'all, like, oh, I'm a fan, so I had to say
Yeah.
what's up. And I'm like, oh, what are y'all doing here? And they're like, oh, we auditioning for Ballers. So I was like, oh,
Oh,
dang.
this is
I said,
legit.
I said, oh, y'all getting some stars. And then the table readers venue, I was like, man, I was starstruck because like that was my first time
Yeah.
seeing Dwayne and Mark and just being in the HBO office. Like it was crazy. I had to pinch myself. I said, this is crazy.
Yeah. Like, how do you contain like the excitement of being around these iconic people, and it's your first time doing this? They're like, oh, you got to get a acting coach, and then just like being around. Like, I know I would be freaking out. Like, how do
Yeah.
you like oh shit?
Yeah. I mean, I was just kind of just staying in the moments,
Yeah.
like I mean, like nobody else seen Dwayne, so when the first table, I didn't really get a chance to talk to him because everybody was trying to talk to him. So I was like, I'm gonna chill, like, I'll see him again,
Yep.
God willing. But yeah, it was just a lot, man. Just trying to but I mean, I'm always been like a humble dude and just always just like, just stay grounded, like don't ever let get like. Don't let nothing get you too big at. And luckily, like I played D1 ball.
Yeah.
I'm from a big city, so
Bright lights.
I'm
Built
yeah, I'm
for it.
used to like doing some stuff and like being like recognized. But I mean, of course, it's like when one of your childhood like heroes walk in, it's a little different.
Yeah.
But I just I first noticed like how cool they was and how
Yeah.
how nice they were.
I think I loved it too because I feel like as a fan watching it, it was the first time you seen The Rock that way. And the
Yeah,
first, I feel like that was John David's coming, his
yeah,
shining moment, him coming out and then the chemistry you guys had. Like, I would have swore like y'all all knew each other for like many, many years. So it was well put together. And I think it was very groundbreaking in that sense for everybody, and it was like I said, the first time seeing The Rock in that kind of light
Yeah,
and all that, and
it
it
was
was
different, man.
yeah,
It's like one of my favorite things to like, watch him in, because like he not saving the world. He not
yeah,
the biggest, strongest dude. He actually like is going through like some real
real
personal
life,
stuff here, real
yeah,
life. He's a retired athlete. So, he wasn't like all super jacked up. He was like retired athlete. So, he a big dude, of course,
yeah,
but he didn't have to like save the world or nothing. And he was
yeah,
actually like, I feel like it actually like showed like his acting chops,
yeah,
like a little bit, because he did a good job, and he didn't have to do like, too much, as well. So, and it was a blessing working with JD, like you said. That was his first thing. I seen him dang near every audition I did. So like, he worked for that role. People, and I didn't even know who his daddy was. Honestly,
same.
it wasn't until like we got casted, and my dad's like, "Oh, Denzel's son in the show," and I'm like,
Like,
"For real?"
what?
And like, and like Washington, I seen Washington a common name, and
Yeah,
I didn't put two and two together. But yeah, man, JD, man, it was just an honor to work with. All them dudes, Troy Garrity, Omar, Jasmine Simon, like we all like, became a family. I think like because we was in Miami filming in the beginning, and we on location, so we was away from our family, like away from home. So we really got to like bond. And then Dwayne so cool, it's like you got a cool boss or a cool lead, it just trickles down to everything. Like if you got somebody uptight and they not the kindest person, it just makes everybody else like walk on eggshells. But
yeah,
I don't know. Like Dwayne, he cool. He's in Miami. Like how you mad by the beach? That's how I felt. Like I don't.
yeah. I mean, it's very rare when you're putting so many people together that haven't worked together into a setting and the chemistry is like that. I feel like there's
Yeah,
only a handful of shows,
yeah,
especially in the later of the last few years that have been doing it. It felt like Breaking Bad was one of those, Entourage was one of those,
yeah,
especially with multiple dynamic like leads because you guys were all leads.
yeah.
It
For the
wasn't
most
like
part,
just The Rock and it's based on him. Like you guys all had your standout moments and stuff. So that was like
yeah.
that was dope, man. I'm sad that like we were talking about. I mean, 5 years.
Yeah, 5 seasons, man.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, it's rare though. That's what Omar, Big O. That's what he told me because he was on 8 Mile back
hmm
in the day, and he was saying like, man, this feel like that's how 8 Mile was for him. But he was telling me like, not every set is like this, and it's
Yeah,
my first time. So I'm like, I'm thinking like, shit, what you mean? Like it ain't like it all ain't like this, but like most people, they work and then they go home. They don't really, they keep it professional.
yeah.
So. But yeah, he was saying like, yeah, this, it was a good vibe.
So when you get that first check, did you hit Granny like Granny? I'm out of here.
Man, I did, but it was tough because like I didn't have like my corporation
uh
and like my S corp set up. So my first check, I'm like, like a lot of people, I'm like, man, where's the rest of it? Like, cause they took half of my check, cause
half Eddie.
they thinking I'm making this all year long. So
Yeah,
I got taxed crazy, and like
yeah,
even though we was filming in Miami, I still had to like file in LA because we technically didn't. If we would have worked like a little bit longer out there, I could have filed out there. But yeah, it taught me quick about like
yeah,
W-2s, 1099s, tax, FICA, all that type of stuff,
yeah,
and then O put me on the next series like, bro, you should get your corporation, get yourself a business so that they can pay your business
yeah,
instead of paying you. So I like, and that's the thing like about anything, but especially in that business, like the acting stuff, being on set, that's one thing, but it's like once you get off set, like learning the business and like learning
yeah,
all the nuances of that type of stuff, because like that's the stuff like I don't know if I don't think they really teach that type of stuff, and
yeah,
even if you study like film, as your major, I don't think like that business stuff you got to kind of learn
yeah,
through trial and error or
yeah,
just
man. It's
asking the right questions.
right, and it's dope that he, took you under his wing because he's been in the industry a lot, a long
Yeah,
time, and
yeah,
whether it's music or acting, that's the part that the talent is one thing, right? But how do you, once you have some success, how do you maintain that and the importance of like the business side of things,
hmm
and you getting a fast forward education in that, like how is that, transitioning? You're an investor now, right?
yep, yep.
Um, how is the business side of what you learned during Ballers, help you now in this next iteration of life, becoming an investor and knowing the business side of things?
Yeah, man. I mean, I just kind of just take everything, as I go, and like being on Ballers, it's like introduced me to so many different people, and
Mm,
that's another thing. O was always telling me, like, man, like make sure you certain things, get out, meet people. That's how we met. Just out and about, because he said a lot of his stuff happened just being out and just being in the right place at the right time,
yeah,
and a lot of my blessings, been through that. But investing is kind of still kind of new. But I feel like, it's stuff that that I'm interested in, that I like. And yeah, it's not, you're not always gonna get it back right away. I'm
yeah,
learning as well too. But I feel like, you got a good, good people around it, definitely like go through the protocol, like, having somebody look over the contract and stuff too. But I mean, if you feel good about it, and you got something to invest, it's not like your last,
yeah,
chips. But if it feel good and there's some good people about it, why not?
yeah,
It's a gamble though, like anything. So
yeah. So outside of like, have you ever thought about going into coaching? Is that like something you
hell nah. Yeah.
ever?
My friend, they just asked me that today. Like, you know what? Like I like ball. I don't love ball, because coaching, that's a whole different
Eat,
thing.
sleep,
Yeah,
drink.
eat, sleep. You got to be first one there, and it's just such a grind to like get to where you want to get.
Yeah.
If I had like a relative, or my dad was a coach like in the league, or somebody I knew that I could kind of like, I ain't gonna say, you still gotta work your way up, but having them right people that you can skip, a few steps a little bit. But yeah, coaching never really wasn't like, I was thinking about it my first year out, before, like when I was just trying to figure stuff out, because I was just like, man, do I need to go back to school? Because I feel like everybody, even at that time, I graduated in 2012. I'm
Hmm.
like, dang, do I need my master's? And I knew some people was graduate assistants, where they would be like GAs at programs, and they would be coaching, but then they would pay for their school. They, instead of like kind of paying them, they pay for their school.
Mm.
So I was thinking about that, but then my coach, he kind of knew me and knew my personality, so he was like, so that's why they put me on to the acting type of stuff. But
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to be on the coaching staff. I think if I was not necessarily like on the field, I would want to do more like recruiting, and
Yeah.
like trying to get people to come
Teaching them
to,
business or
to the
something.
school,
Yeah.
yeah, or like player development.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being on the staff, but like
That's what's up.
like getting like coaching on the field, like film, it's boring to me. I ain't gonna lie.
Like
Like,
I'm cool on that.
yeah, I was trying to stay awake when I was playing. So your coach falling asleep, like that ain't a good look.
Crazy. Who's some of your favorite players in the league right now?
Shoot, I mean, Aaron Donald just retired, but love AD.
Yeah.
I love Michael Parsons. I'm liking CJ Stroud, man, on Houston. Like I just like his attitude, and like
Yeah.
just how he talk, and he confident. I think he gonna be a good player. Shoot, Lamar Jackson.
It's
Um,
this guy's guy right
yeah,
here.
Lamar, he a beast. I like Debo. On the Niners, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Um,
So do you root more for like players now, or have you gravitated to like?
nah, I'm Rams, man. I ain't
Oh,
gonna
you
lie. I'm a
Rams?
Rams
You,
guy.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do be seeing you. You be at all the
Yeah,
Rams
yeah, I'll
games,
be at the
man.
games. I got season tickets. But I mean, growing up, they Commanders now, but I was a Washington fan,
Mm.
because like my cousin, I found out a cousin, Clayton Porter, he played running back for
Yeah,
him. He was a
he's
Bronco at
Bronco.
first,
Yeah,
yeah, and then he went to Washington. So like not having a team, I'm born in DC, and my
yep.
mom's side of the family, they big Washington fans. Like my mom, she loved watch. She came out here last year for the Washington Rams in the Rams game. So I still look at them from afar, but they suck. So
Yeah,
it's just hard to keep cheering for them. But
yeah,
I definitely always like, I hope Jalen Daniels, I hope he does good, because
yeah,
that's all I need is a quarterback. If
yeah,
they got, and they've been trying, but it just
yeah,
it hasn't happened. Same with the Bears. If
yeah.
if if
We'll
Caleb
see, man.
can do
I mean,
well,
they put the pieces around them. They
yeah,
got arguably one of the best receiving cores, and
I think
you
so.
know,
I'm a Keenan Allen fan.
yeah,
I like DJ Moore.
yeah,
Y'all got Swift. Like offense, like he ain't got no. No
They
excuses.
can't, no excuses this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm the same. I mean, I'll always be a Bears fan, but there's just so many dope young dudes in the league, and
Mm-hmm.
I just love, in general, I just love just sports too. I'm a Nuggets fan, but I just love just everything about like, and I
Yeah.
think that was even growing up as a kid, right? Like I love Jordan, but I also love KG, and I also love Penny Hardaway and Shaq, and
Facts.
it's just kind of
You got
hard.
respect
Like
for them
you got
guys.
to, man.
Yeah.
And I always tell people like, yeah, I be talking trash, but one thing I have the utmost respect for anybody who played competitively, even at even at if you got to the college level and were able to get your education paid for,
Yeah.
let alone the league. Like I might say these dudes are scrubs, but even the scrub is like, like somebody that put in the work.
Yeah.
And even if he ain't getting on the field, like it
Yeah.
says a lot to be able to make it to that next level. You know what
Nah,
I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice, man. A lot of you got to be doing something right. But you got them dudes that's they blessed though.
Yeah.
Like some dudes. I'm like, how does this dude keep finding a job?
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's crazy. But
yeah. Between
he
that and the ones that complain, I'm like, bro, you getting paid. One thing I did want to ask is what's your take on like kind of like the new sports journalists these days? Because I feel like so many retired athletes have podcasts now, and
yes,
even ESPN, the dynamic has changed so much, and I feel like so much of it now is just like hot takes,
yeah,
and it's hard to watch for me, man. It's really kind of hard to watch, like
yeah. I mean, it's just so many. But I mean, it's definitely like going to that. And I mean, I like Jeff Teague joint. I like the
yeah,
stories. I like
yeah,
KG and Paul Prince. Like I love hearing the story, especially players like that I respected.
yeah,
And like I was a fan of. But it's just been different. I'm not with the clickbait and like just trying to like I'm not with you like saying something on here and you wouldn't tell me in my face. You know what I'm saying? Like if
yeah,
you man to man and you tell me something. But like you say, like you saying stuff on here that you wouldn't say if you see me in the same room. Like I think that's kind of lame. But it's
yeah,
definitely definitely switching because like even with the content because like the sports centers and even like first take sometime. But I'd rather hear from a player that's like been in the trenches.
yeah.
Respect for the Stephen A. Smith. I'm a fan. He my fraternity brother, but like it just be tough because
I mean,
if you didn't play like pro or elite or at least like D1, it's just like I ain't gonna say like your word not valid, but it just it hit different like when KG say something
right,
or even Draymond, crazy
yeah,
ass he say something, but
yeah.
they been in it, they really know what they talking about to
For
me.
sure. And I feel the same exact way, man. It's like if you ain't put in, and it's way past 10,000 hours. We talking hundreds of thousands of hours of,
Yeah,
and I think it's okay. We all have our takes, we all have our opinions, but when it comes demonstrative, and it's like talking down on these players or dismissing their character,
yeah,
keep it on the court. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Cause I
that's
don't,
where
I
I
don't
just,
want to, I don't want to never like stop somebody like from getting their money, cause
yeah,
like stuff like that can mess up,
yeah,
people pockets. But it's
yeah.
interesting, man, cause it's just like so many different outlets and everybody now has an opinion.
Yep. Facts. Here's my opinion. Who's winning the NBA Finals?
Man, that's tough, man. Like I'm a Laker dude, so I hate Boston, but I like Tatum. I like Tatum. Drew Holiday here, Bruin. Um, I like Brown, but I wouldn't mind seeing like Luka and Kyrie win one.
Yeah.
Because if Boston win, they got more championship than Lakers, and I don't want to hear that stuff.
You'll
But
never hear the end of that
yeah,
one.
man. But I mean, it's tough though, cause like they been in the championship like these, well, they've been
Last
in
year.
championship these
Yeah.
last few years and haven't won.
Yeah.
So I know that taste of like getting there and not winning.
Mm-hmm.
You got like, that's not a good taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that they got experience, which definitely helps. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Kyrie, I think
Been
if
there and
Kyrie and
done it.
Luca, if they do what they did, which they gonna game plan that because they know if they gonna get 30 some points a game, it's
Yeah.
gonna be tough.
I think it's both on both sides, right?
Yeah,
It's hard. it's hard to stop Kyrie and Luca on the same side. It's hard to stop Tatum and Brown, but the other guys, right? Like who on the other side? And for me, it's tough too. I'm not a Celtics fan, but the homie Derek White, I love. That's the
Yeah,
homie, and he's a great player. And then I love Kyrie and Luca, and the
yeah,
homie Sham God's a coach over there.
yeah, yep,
Um,
yep,
so I'm like, I just want to see a great series, man. I
yeah,
got no dog in the fight. The Timberwolves are gone because they took my Nuggets out.
yeah. Minnesota was
Lakers are gone.
gone, man. Yeah, Minnesota was disappointing,
Yeah,
and it's crazy with the Lakers. Like we was up on y'all every game, and
that's
still
the weirdest series I could honestly
and
say.
still
Like
lost, which is
the
like
weirdest
I'm still
series.
sick to this day because I'm like
Yeah,
we easily could have like I think we could have went to the finals for sure. Like if we would have got past y'all,
yeah,
I think we beat Minnesota and we beat Dallas. Like,
yeah. I think
but I
AD
just don't
would
know
have
if we
been
get
too
to the if we
much.
get there and how we ain't too tired.
You okay with JJ Redick coming?
You know what? I mean, it's cool. I mean, I think I rather. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at like Sam Cassell or like some of these other like assistants that's like been working too. But I ain't mad at JJ. He seemed like he knowledgeable of the game.
Yeah,
But I just hope it ain't like a Steve Nash situation.
yeah. It's tough because if it don't work out in the first like 30 games, and they gonna crucify.
Yeah,
He gonna be on the cross like Tizo.
yeah. But it's just tough though. Like no coaching experience, and then you going
Yeah,
straight to the mix.
with the King
But
and
I mean,
like
I haven't watched their podcast, but my boy, he said he like it because he shows how his knowledge of the game on
they
there
break it
and
down, and I
X's
feel
and
like it's the
O's.
kind of the closest to what Kobe's when he was doing his, where he would actually break down the game.
Yeah,
Like I like theirs too because it is very like about the craft and the sweet science of basketball.
yeah.
Um,
Which I think is important, man,
yeah,
because some people like they don't know that and I think like it just shows like oh yeah they like you see why LeBron is
yeah,
who he is, and even JJ he played a lot of years in the league
yeah, yeah.
because you got to be a student of the game.
Seen a lot.
Yeah.
Seen a lot. Um, Before we get out of here, what are some things that you have coming up? What's on the horizon for you?
Yeah, for sure, man. I just did a movie in July. It's
Okay.
called Toxic Harmony. It's gonna be on Tubi, so Tubi original. So you look out for that this summer. And yeah, just auditioning, man. Just grinding, man. Just got that taste of baller. So just
Yeah.
just chasing it again, man. But it's been a tough year. Like we had like after I got out, I was excited because I'm like, oh, it was like this was 19. So I'm like, okay, I was sad it was over, but I said, got things in, new things begin, but then COVID happened. Then the strike was last year, so
Yeah.
stuff picking up, man. Just networking, tapping in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I invested in a restaurant like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's called the Hideaway. It's in Beverly Hills.
Hideaway.
On Mexican food, man. It's on Rodeo Drive.
Yep.
So yeah, if you ever in the area, man, stop by and
That
yeah,
Evan.
yeah.
Evan's a
Evan
part of it.
Ross. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mario's involved.
Okay.
DJ Paul. Ryan
Heavy hitters.
Philippe, my guy Sylvan, David, JT, they
Love it.
all Warwick guys, man.
Food great.
Yeah, it's really
Ain't ate
good,
there
man.
yet.
Really good service, good. We got parking too. We got lunch, brunch, dinner.
There it is.
Got DJ on the weekend, so yeah, it's cool,
We
man.
gotta get some rounds in on the guy. I see you on the
Yeah,
links, man.
yeah. Definitely been doing that. Want to get some more golf content and yeah, getting into like sports, like broadcasting. We was talking about that earlier, but like that's what I'm gonna pivot to a little bit, especially during the football season, because we moving to the Big Ten for UCLA
Yeah.
and SC, Washington, Oregon. We going to the Big Ten, so yeah, want to tap into into that world as well, and
Yeah.
do some stuff this season.
Love it, man. Well, I appreciate you come
Yes,
sitting
sir.
down with
Man,
me.
appreciate you, man.
Make sure y'all check the good brother out. Stay tuned. A Sweet Life Podcast signing off.
Sir.
Peace.